So we may have touched on this before, but I, for one, and I'm taking a bet that a lot of people out there are the same, is what is a good grade for palladium, and what kind of intercept is something that we should, as investors, potential investors, should be looking for?
For your standard exploration company, as they go through that process of exploring, I would be keeping an eye out for anything over 1 gram per tonne palladium, over a metre or 3 metres or more, because that's a good indication that there is mineralisation in the area. And then when it comes to resources, I think a good grade would be 1.5 grams and above. And depending on the size, the shape of the ore body, its location, and a number of other economic factors. But resource grades 1.5, 2 grams or more, I think would begin to be economic, depending on a number of other factors. But for your typical exploration company, you need to keep an eye on those results, which are growing over 1 gram per tonne palladium. And of course, palladium usually occurs with nickel, copper, platinum, and sometimes gold, and sometimes the other PGEs as well, rhodium being the one of high value at the moment. So there's a lot of factors that go into valuing a palladium prospect, but as a rough rule of thumb, I'd say at least 1 gram per tonne.
So while we're on the same topic, I guess, say someone puts an announcement out, what kind of numbers roughly? And I know, as you've just said, there's many factors that bounce it, but investors only look at the things that is that trend. So when they quote a nickel percentage and a palladium percentage and a depth of intercept, what should we be saying? Oh wow, that's fantastic. Or oh man, that's not good enough. What is that magical figure?
There's just no easy answer, because it depends on whether it's a one intersection. Are there a number of intersections that look like it's a continuous body of mineralization? Is it sporadic? Is it here and there? Can you trace that along a particular geological contact? Does it look like it will form a body of mineralization that could be extracted by mining? So if you have a couple of good hits in one location, nothing in between, a few good hits at another location, 100 metres, it's just not mineable. So you need to have some continuity of geology and mineralisation, and then the grade with it as well. So you could, in theory, you could have very low grades of nickel and palladium if it's a very large ore body and it's near surface and it's close to existing infrastructure. So there's so many things go into a good quality mine, but the market, I think, gets very excited about early stage results with the expectation that it might lead to a resource or mining, and that's a fair call. So to go from early stage results to, say, an ore grade intersection, that is a big jump, and I think the market rewards those companies that are able to do that, and we're obviously hoping to do the same.
So is there a proportion of, let's say, we're only talking nickel and palladium, as you said, there are other factors, that, if there's, if you say 1.5 is a good number, so if it was 2.5 and 0.3%, or is it 2% nickel and 1.5? Is there a magical balance? I know I'm putting
there's no magical number at which you could say that's definitely going to be a mine, because the other factor, of course, is the commodity price at the time.
Yeah.
So a few years ago, we wouldn't be talking about palladium like this, and I'm talking 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now palladium is of real value and consequence in the development of cleaner technologies, and we think it's going to be like that for at least the next few decades.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a metal that has come from relative obscurity to something that is now highly valued. So the grades, everything's changed.
I think there was a confusion at the turn as well, that palladium was catalytic converters, therefore all these cars are going to go extinct anyway, and then they were saying, well, there's no more use for palladium, but then that's turned on its head as well, right? So
yeah, they just keep finding more uses for it. It's in fact a very useful metal, which is great.